played hide and seek for hours, raised our shadows among the pines. So offshore, playful and free, without a care in the world. I was one rich little girl, daydreamer, kidnap me. Take me back, all the way back to them days, running around in a gown and a crown, barefoot. No mistake ever kept me late. We spent summers catching fireflies and winters on our skates. One big smile across my face. We used to dance our way to church on Sundays. Mama set the pace. Daydreamer, kidnap me. Take me back, all the way back to them days, running around in a gown and a crown, barefoot.
Rodney, happy Tuesday.
How's it going?
It's going good. How about you?
I can't complain. Can't complain. Another great
Doesn't
day in the city.
it doesn't help to complain anyway, huh?
Nobody's gonna listen to it.
There we go. Sorry, we're checking things out. Happy Tuesday, everybody. If you're just watching the replay, that happens a lot for us. We're completely okay with that. This is Rodney Wilds, VP of F&M Mortgage. And my name is Andy Elliott. I'm with Benchmark Realty. And the main thrust of our channel is we're not here to do anything other than just supply information, give you information. And if you have questions, you can leave that. We now have a Q&A in our YouTube channel. And there's a question in there about, you can read that if you want. But we're just here to give you information, not trying to do anything else. So hope that's okay. And we always start the same way with good old Rodney giving us the new numbers for rates, because we know that's important for people. So here we go. Rates.
Yeah, here we go. Well, I'm gonna read this, Andy. I don't have my share screen because I'm not a professional like you. But today we're overall pretty good. It's 20 basis points up from the day. We is a little bit better this morning. And when I say 20 basis points up, it means the rates are trying to improve a little bit.
Okay.
Now, I will say this, something I did want to share is Thursday, we probably had the largest increase in one day in a very long time. Actually, it had to be. It was almost 200 basis points better, which rates significantly got better that day. You know, it went from, let's see.
Now, when you say increase, you actually mean, for us idiots like me, when you say increase, that means a decrease in the rate, right?
Yeah, rates got better, so it means yes. It went. I don't know exactly what the 30-year fixed around, but it got 200 basis points better Thursday. Got a little bit better. You know, markets were closed Friday. Got a little bit better yesterday, and today it's seen a little bit of an improvement as well. So overall, we haven't seen many extended rate improvements in a while. So that's a good sign. It's and the last few weeks, or last week or so, you hear some terms about inflation taming a little bit. So
right.
Overall, good economic news the way I'm taking it.
Well, and the CPI didn't the producer index came out today, and what they're claiming a little bit of success, a little bit of a success. I mean, I guess the bottom line is what they seem to be indicating is that inflation, for what it's worth, is improving.
Yes, that's the way I'm taking it. Plus, it's hey, when you get something positive to cheer about it, cheer about it.
Yeah,
we're coming off. To me, it feels like a 10 to 12 year, just a crazy run in our area where things have been so good, and we've kind of taken it on a chin for a minute, and hey, so I'm celebrating some good news.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been in my niche, in our niche, in real estate and mortgage, that kind of thing. I've been cruising around, and you'll see the results of this. I've been spending like a day looking at video viewers' comments on other channels, the bigger ones. We've got some really interesting things about what people are thinking about what rates are, and if they're a buyer, how low do they think that the rates would have to go for them to come back into the market. There's some really interesting perspectives. I thought by reading, several hundred comments, I could understand our viewers better, let them tell us what they're thinking, that's all, and some of them are really thought-provoking. That's really my point. Anyway, you had... So rates are looking better. This is good news. We're going to celebrate after we hang up here. And you've also got some information for rentals with us, rent versus buy, right?
Yes.
And I've got both of those here on this end. I don't know if you can see them on your end. Let me try this out. Hang on. There we go. I'm going to see if I can't pick the right one. Which one did you want?
Well, Andy, here, I can take my glasses off to see some of this. I apologize. Like, I'm out of my office today. So,
no, you're good.
Andy, if you can help me walk through that, but basically, what I looked at, I wanted to go through the numbers, but when we talked about, I think Angie was last time,
There she is. Hi,
talking
Angie.
about, we were the rent versus own, and this is buying 350 versus renting.
Yes.
And you can kind of walk through the numbers, but the biggest thing I seen was the net gain by buying a home. Look at that, 85,000 over. What is that? Did I put on there a 7-year period?
Yes, it looks like maybe a 10-year period. Do I see that? Oh, no. I see it now. It's
so that's what I'm kind of thinking of overall. If you want to run through those numbers, Andy, it'd be good. But it still looks like, even with, I think I used, I don't know what you can say what rate that was on there, but still looks like a pretty good value to me.
And that's really what your whole point is, that when people are talking about, and that was a lot of the comments that I had read, people are going to rent, until things get right. And I understand that. I do. But what you're showing us here, this is what the numbers reflect. And there's the other one that we have that shows 185. Now, this is a $500,000 house. It looks like over a 7-year period that the net gain in that 7 years is 185.
Yeah, and look at your rent. Like, if you go to rent on year 7, on the very top line, your monthly P&I, your rent ends up being, over $4,000.
Right.
In 7 years. If it's, if rent goes up like it has been. And
right.
you never know, I guess, what'll happen, but it sure seems like it'd be a lot better still buying.
Right. And that's, everybody's got to take that into account. And so, this, we've got two wonderful people here. That is Wendy.
Wendy Thirst. Wendy? Yeah. Hey, Wendy, how are you?
Wendy. I know she's laughing. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Angie. You guys are great. So what we were going to touch base on, I found this, since we typically go through the state of things, what I wanted to touch base with today was, and this is going to be your bailiwick on this, Rodney, and I don't know if you can pull it up. I sent you the link on it.
Yeah,
everything you need to know about government loans. And so for anybody that's rewatching it, maybe the ladies that, oh, hey, Phil the Pill. He's here too. These are good folks right here. We ought to get everybody on the screen at once and have a watch party. That's what we should do. Yeah, I don't blame you, Angie. Don't rent. Yep, do not rent. But we're going to cover real quick, and this may not be everybody's cup of tea, but it's still interesting stuff. Let me pop this over this way. Going to do that. Good. We're going to talk about everything you need to know about government-backed mortgages and loans. And we're just kind of step through this because this is Rodney's kind of a thing. But what I wanted to do is just read the very beginning, and then we can start stepping through it. Government-backed mortgages can be easier to qualify compared to conventional loans. Make some good choice if you have lower income or don't have perfect credit, or you can't afford a large down payment. So some borrowers might also qualify for a lower interest rate on a government-backed loan than they'd get with a conventional mortgage. So just for anybody that's watching that and has some interest in that, that's kind of the foundation of it. So the benefits here, the first thing that I'm seeing, if you see that on there, Rodney, is the smaller down payment. Is that what you see there?
Yeah, it's 100%. It is the smaller down payment is, to me, to me, probably the biggest hurdle for almost every single person there, in a lower income bracket. So the smaller down payment, you can get in for 3.5%. If the market had foreclosures, you remember that word, sometimes they can even get some of those HUD homes for $100 down. That's really not our market right now, but the smaller down payment is huge when it comes to, helping somebody buy a house. Now, the second piece of that you mentioned, Andy, was it accepts a lower credit score.
Yes.
And that's what's combined with a lower down payment, and you can have a little bit more flexibility on your credit score is you can't hardly have like conventional will go all the way down, maybe even to 600, 580 or 600, maybe even 620 score. But when you adjust what's called Fannie Mae adjustments for that rate, that score becomes, you add so many points to it, it becomes, 3 or 4 points higher than a normal rate.
Right.
So if it was rates were at 6%, that rate may be 7.5 or 8%, where government loans do not have that Fannie Mae adjustment to kill you for a 620 or a 640 or a 680.
Right.
And that helps a lot because it's that allows them to get a good rate, a good market rate, for that product.
Right. But still gives people the option. It gives people options is what I'm thinking.
Oh yeah. You would not have that option with conventional.
Right.
Yes, that is a product. It's that would not be available without the government-backed loan here.
And then, so the next one is the higher debt to income ratio.
Yes. A lot of the government loans are underwritten differently, or have what's called a total scorecard with FHA. They have some allowances and tolerances built in for to allow for the higher debt to income ratio, especially for veterans. FHA, it allow you to go up to a higher ratio than say a conventional would.
And for a lot of people getting started, although that's not the best thing though, carrying a lot of debt, right? I mean, obviously, I don't mean to be obvious about that, but
right, yes, but if it's somebody, it's the underwriting systems, like I mentioned, like the desktop underwriting, DU, LP, and those systems that are used for government underwriting, they are built in with, to me, in all fairness, a lot of tolerances, but they do not, they don't go crazy and go over the border with tolerances that allow foreclosures. So they're actually looking at the back end saying, okay, we've underwrote this way for a while and we're seeing very little foreclosure with this, so with the higher ratios. So obviously it's going to be higher than not, but they are mitigating that risk where it's just not out of control, I guess.
Right. And so can you touch on, and this is kind of interesting for future reference, anybody that's looking into this, that's really what we're making this video for, so they can come back and look at this when they have the question, when the time is right in their life. So what is the basics on how a government-backed mortgage works? Because I mean, I have people do them, but I don't actually know what the fundamentals on that is.
Really, to us, like, we are a mortgage banker where we can, where we look at the investor on the front end, we close it with our money, and then we sell it to the investor, say a Wells Fargo, and they Wells services it. So from my end, there's no difference. It's just we follow their policies and procedures that they put out, just like Fannie Mae, which is Fannie's kind of government now, I guess, if you look at it that way. But
right.
But Federal Housing Authority, FHA, they do just this 203B loan that me and you do.
Yeah.
They have 2 million of these things. They have them all. They have everything under the sun, if you can imagine. It's just in our area, we're not known to them. Like, I think they have native, even this article mentioned that they have Native American land loans and things like that. So FHA is a little bit broader than what we use it for, for like HUD home purchase, just regular FHA and VA stuff. So it's a little bit, Veterans Administration is separate from FHA, but obviously they're both government backed.
Right.
But
And so then the different types of loans, and there's a bunch of them, and actually I know most of these. So an FHA loan, tell us what that is.
FHA loan is what we've been talking about, a loan from Federal Housing Authority or Federal Housing Administration. And it's the one where they'll allow the 203B, they'll allow 3.5% down. They're flexible on their credit, and they're fairly flexible on their debt to income ratios. The government loans, when you go through there, you pay mortgage insurance. And normally, like on a conventional, that would go to a private company. The mortgage insurance on a government-backed loan goes to the government. So they take all the upfront funding fees and the monthly mortgage insurance premiums that are tied to the FHA loans, and that all goes into a pool of money set aside to help offset foreclosures. So, kind of same with the funding fee with VA.
Oh yeah.
So that's and then other than that, it's really not much different from any other loan than we do. It's still service. The notes are all the same. It's like the government doesn't have any authority just because they've insured it. That's the biggest thing. It's just the government is insuring that loan.
Got it. And so now USDA loans, over the years, we've used that a few different times. Mm-hmm. And if I'm not mistaken, you correct me if I'm wrong, the idea of a USDA loan is to get people into what they call underserved areas, right? They're going to be less populated usually. Is that the case?
Yeah, I don't know if underserved, but I think smaller communities, like 30,000 or less. Because you could have a underserved community, it'd be 200,000, right?
Right.
So they're looking at smaller communities, like 30,000 people or less, I think, for the USDA. And that's and it's been known as the Farmers Home Loan, the Rural Housing Loan, USDA loan. All those are the same exact loan. And they've just had several names out throughout the years. But it's just designed for, I think, a little bit further out a little bit where they determine the census tracts ahead of time, and you can go online and look at the census tract and see if your home is eligible for that loan.
And do you also, they have to be in certain, you said census tract, is that same as, they have to be certain zip codes?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, because
they'll go by census tract, where you could have actually multiple zip codes in that census tract. Like a census tract is maybe like just a boundary on a map.
Right. And so you go on, I think it's on the USDA site that you put the address in, and either it qualifies regional, locale wise or not, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Very easy to tell. Yeah, you just Google it up and say, is this property eligible for a USDA home loan? And it'll probably take you right to it.
But I've had that over the years. It's been a while, to be honest. But people are able to really benefit greatly from those USDAs.
It's a good loan, and what I like about it is it's a lot like the VA loan, except you have it's 100%. So that's obviously a great feature. The rate is super competitive. It doesn't, again, kill you depending on what your credit score is. And then the DTI is not as flexible, I don't think. So the DTI is okay, but it's been a great loan for people, and has a small amount of monthly mortgage insurance as well, which is probably, it's, I think, 25% of what the FHA mortgage insurance factor would be.
Got it. Got it. And really the final one's going to be kind of a quick one today. Are the VA loans. And I know that you're a big fan of that I know you really take care of the vets.
Yeah, we love our veterans. Our home office is in Clarksville, just outside the Fort Campbell.
Right.
And we're always involved with anything they allow us to be involved in. We love supporting our veterans, and that VA loan's an awesome loan. I mean, it's 100% down. It's got great rates to it. It's it's truly the Veterans Administration did a great job when they set up there. It's you ever hear of company mottos that kind of run downhill? Well, if you've been, like, for us, on this side of it, and you're always talking to VA and working out loans and stuff, their model is always this: we want to do what's the best for the veteran.
Right.
100%. It's like their motto, and it runs through their organization. We really enjoy that relationship with our VA partners too. So it's a great deal. I mean, it's a good loan, and they really care about their veterans and do everything they can. When it's I don't know, some red tape issue or something, they work it out for us.
Right. And I mean, that's so well deserved that I can't even express how well deserved that is.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys are young kids, in their 20s and stuff. Of course we do people that stay there, but this is a fluid base. I mean, they're in and out of here in a few years. So, we see them all.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really good stuff. So, just wanted to kind of go through that. Did you have any other, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Rodney. That was really good. I just hadn't been through that in a while, and because we tend to focus on conventionals and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's not all the time, but it's just good to have the information out there for somebody the question I had in YouTube is, if you're a first-time home buyer, have you figured out what kind of loan that you need? Do you know what you need? And if it was like me when I was in the beginning, it was a baffling mess. I didn't understand any of it,
Yeah, and they've all changed since they have all changed recently. So it's a great topic, and just because like you said, we're in the middle of an expensive area. And so FHA is, VA in this county, it may not be dominant, but like if you go to our home office where Clarksville is, our veterans loans are dominant up there. So I don't know. I'd like to see if there's more conventional or FHA loans or what throughout the country, but in other areas, FHA loans and VA loans are very prevalent.
I had, and that reminds me that starting next year, the regulators have said that government loans are going to be slashing fees. And now I did a video, and I can't remember what it was specifically, but there's going to be a lot of fees slashed for first-time home buyers. They said it was going to affect positively 20% of first-time home buyers.
I haven't seen that, but I think we talked about that, some of that NAHF stuff that.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. But I haven't, I haven't seen what they're going to do with the fees. Fees are good. We just need a little bit better rates so they can qualify.
Yeah.
But I mean, like our houses I feel like it's getting in line a little bit. So
right.
Away.
I think the point that they're trying to make, at least makes me feel like they're doing something, at the top. Yeah. And they're trying to get the out of pocket to be less substantial for first-time home buyers, especially now with the way things are, home prices and all the rest of it. Wendy had a really, really good question. Is there a loan for medical professionals?
There are a couple loans, I think, that give discounts for frontline workers. I think THDA is one of those. But as far as conventional, I don't think FHA offers anything like that. But
Was there something that I read called duty to serve? Is that what you're thinking of, Wendy? Duty to serve? That kind of a loan? I wonder if I could find that. Let me look something up here. Bear with me a second. Dead air, man.
Yeah, I don't think that there's anything specific for them outside that THDA. I haven't seen them. There might be somebody might have created one somewhere. I don't think my investors have given us one specifically.
Right. Yeah. I can't find it on the fly. So, I read something the other day. I'm going to do a video on this because frankly, I qualify for part of it anyway. It was talking about a part of the population that's not being discussed very much in this housing situation. And it's retirees being homeless. About older folks that aren't prepared and they're having a hard time getting through. So I'm going to be doing a video on that this week. I thought that was, well, it's sad, but it's something that I think, which is the point, hadn't really thought about it. But these people are losing their houses and that's
Was there something about it? I don't know. I mean, are you losing your house? What part of category do you fit into that?
just the old part. Everything else, we're good.
I hadn't seen much about that. But I like your. I'm glad you brought up the point of this government stuff. It's a great option for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I know you can't read the things because you're not on dual monitor today, but Wendy said she heard recently Fannie Mae might change next year about down payments too. Is that news you're familiar with?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. If I'm worried about anything from Fannie Mae, and I think we're a long way from it, is what's called a declining market.
Right.
Is if we start going backwards, what they're going to do is they're going to say, okay, now you can only do a 90% loan above, they'll start giving us, LTV restrictions on credit scores and things like that.
Right. I'm just telling Wendy that I've got an article on those fees getting slashed. I've got an article on it. I just can't do it on the fly.
Because Fannie already has a 97% loan. Fannie and Freddie both have a 97% loan.
Right.
So they go 90. It goes all the way down to 3%.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't think they're going to go to 100.
No, yeah, I would. Nah, yeah, I see what you're getting at. I see. It's easy. When I was reading that article about the fees getting slashed, and I'm embarrassed that I didn't have that queued up. That really, I'm irritated with myself on that.
I think I read that too. They just didn't give any examples of it. It's like they talked about it. They said that.
Right.
But
right.
They didn't say how they were going. Like if they were going to give. Like the only way they could do it is like if they give they could do it a million ways. But to me, it makes sense if they did like they're going to give the investor $1,500 or whatever to pass along or something like that.
Yes.
But it's kind of the opposite of what Fannie Mae did when refinances got heavy. They just added a point to everything.
Right. Yeah, I'll find it and I'll find out. I'll be more. I just wasn't ready for that one. Active. Yeah, there it is. Oh yeah, I was thinking about when we were talking, Wendy, about the duty to serve thing that was under the VA loan. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this has been kind of a strange day for me. I lost track of one of my buttons, and I was pretty much out of luck after that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, not to mention my issues logging in. So.
No, you're okay. You're perfectly fine. Hey, listen, we're going to be right on time for you. It's normally just a half hour anyway. But I want to thank everybody. Angie, thank you very much. Wendy, thanks for being here. And Phil the Pill, thank you, man. I hope you're not embarrassed by it.
Bill.
Don't be mad at me, man. Thank you very much. Hey, Rodney, we will talk to you next Tuesday, 1:00.
You got it, my man. See you then.
Thank you.